Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I've actually lost count of how many episodes it's been, but we are getting towards playoffs, and it's time for another episode of This or That. I'm Cradden. With me, as always, it's Ruben. How's it going?
In the words of Dora the Explorer, excelente.
Nice.
I just came off of an hour coaching sesh from Shay, where she just constantly flamed me the entire time, so could not be happier. How you doing, Cradden?
I'm doing well. That's a really interesting league and relationship dynamic to have. I have the bad kind with the flaming from Brandon, but let's say less of the savoury kind of that relationship. So yeah, we'll see more of the fruits born from that later on in the week.
Yeah, exactly. All right. On to the first question we go. All right, which one? A Volibear top lane or Volibear jungle? What are you thinking, Cradden?
Now, I'm going to share a story on this one because I got psyched out by Brandon. He's a mental mastermind of gymnastics, and at one point he built a Sheen and a Stinger during a solo queue game, or rather duo queue game where he's getting carried by Kiz's Smurf, but that's another story. But Brandon was building Sheen and Stinger, so I said, okay, is that going to be a Triforce? And he said, no, I'm going for a Nash's Tooth Lichbane. And me, in my ignorance and not knowing how Volibear works, went, oh, okay, cool, are you going Deathcap afterwards? So luckily, no one knew about that. Back to the actual question, though. I think I've seen him work better in the jungle with the enclosed spaces and coming at you from different flanks and angles. Although much like you had your Warwick, your Shyvana, your Renekton back in the day, he's certainly an annoying trader, and his passive helps you push lanes up in top. I think I'm going to go for Volibear Jungle as the better one, just because there's nothing more pant-crappingly scary than seeing that jump over a wall next to you.
Well, I'm going to be a bit controversial, and once again, I'm also going to share a story.
Ooh.
I was playing on one of my Diamond 1 Smurfs, as you do.
Nice.
And I saw the enemy locked in Volibear, and I thought, you know what? I heard this champ's terrible. I'm going to lock in Nunu top. It was not as terrible as I'd heard it was. This was after the 2 buffs that he got, so I went 3 and 10. But if he was jungle, that would not have happened to me. So I'm going to say that Volibear top lane is the broken one.
I'm actually intrigued at the 3 on that one. How did they happen?
Well, my team started flaming me, so I may have left my keyboard while being under my tier 2 top lane tower. They decided to dive me, and Nunu's auto attack animation managed to scoop me up a double kill. I don't know what happened to the third one.
Sorry, just gonna write down a few notes for playoffs there. Auto attack, AFK. Okay, cool. Better watch out, Whiff's Elite.
Alright, perfect. We did beat Whiff's Elite, so maybe that is the strat, is get a Nunu top. Well, only time will tell. But for now, we're going on to slide number 2. What was the worst week 1, G2 or TSM?
Okay, I'm going to have to sort of dodge the esports questions because I don't really watch the LEC or the LCS that much. I'm vaguely aware that TSM, who now have double lift again, lost to Team Liquid, who did have double lift.
Right.
Did G2 lose or do worse?
Well, as I follow the esports scene a lot, is for lack of better 2 words. Well, I think G2, they lost to Moscow 5 or something. You know, Darian randomly came back. He built his Mana Mune trucks. Everyone was chilling, but G2 were not chilling. Moscow 5 absolutely slaughtered them. Terrible week 1. Meanwhile, TSM, look, man, I didn't even know Double Lift was still on the team. I thought he pieced out, so I'm not sure about this image here. But yeah, TSM, all they've got to do is bring back the odd one, and their next weeks will be better. That's what I think.
It is really weird seeing all these flashbacks, though, because TSM with double lift really reminds me of the old days when feasibly Moscow 5 were only a season away from being a team. Yeah, I'm vaguely trying to look up stats, and I'm seeing that TSM won a game, but I think I would have heard it more if G2 had lost both of their games. Long story short, this is where you, the audience, laugh at our no knowledge / amazing knowledge for the 2 of us, respectively. I'm going to say TSM because they're the American team, and you must just have something on your shoulders from knowing that you play pro, but also you're in NA, which sort of hurts a bit on the inside.
Well, regardless of how these results, they could have both went 2-0 for all I care. The worst week one's definitely G2 because they didn't 3-0 out of like 2 games, right? Because NA is like, haha, all noobs, all noobs. But G2, this is like, wow, these guys were world finalists. So any loss they get is terrible. Absolutely disastrous.
One thing that I'm willing to bet about these pro teams, though, is that their support probably played at least 6 ranked games in the last 14 days.
No. Maybe.
I'm gonna keep up that stare at the camera for a bit, you know, just
Ideal.
make no real reference to anything there.
I honestly couldn't tell what you're referencing there. Probably no recent drama that you may be able to find in help desk or feedback. But I'll leave that up to the viewer to scroll through.
Yeah, absolutely.
And while they do that, we'll move on to the next slide. Who is the biggest Smurf? Jaded or Urban?
Urban. Who does Urban play for? I know Jaded's the Horizon Light mid lane superstar skill guy.
Now, using these things that go into my eye sockets, I was able to tell that it's Horizon Light and Sacramentum are the 2 teams.
Oh my god, I was looking the other way round. So the top of Sacramentum, I was tilting the other way, and it looks like 2 in backwards T3.
Yeah,
and that's not a team
the best
that I know of.
I'm not a fan of that. Well, I will say it's got to be Jaded because he's lower ranked. Auburn's like Plat 2, playing in Div 3. So I wouldn't say someone Plat 2 beating up a bunch of silvers is a Smurf. I'd say he's just quite a bit better than the people he's 2 tiers above. Whereas Jaded, man, he's smurfing in these voice comms. When he's screaming, destroying everyone's eardrums, that's clean. If the enemy could hear it, they wouldn't be able to have any comms for the rest of the game. It'd be doomed.
The splash damage from when Jaden ults Jaden, that's Jaden Smith, when Jaded ults on Nico isn't actually the radius of the ult, it's just sort of splash damage from deafness when he yells his shot calls. So yeah, the only thing that I can really see in common about these 2 players is that I've lost to both of them while playing for an SK Academy. So yeah, I think Jaded was more impactful and certainly molded the late game for his team more than Aubin did. But I think Jaded will play almost the supportive role later in the game and move around his team, whereas Aubin really demands his team's attention a bit more. I think for the big Chad level, I'd go Aubin, but for who actually wins the game more, I would say Jaded, and as a result, I'm going to go for Jaded as the big Smurf.
Fair enough. I'm glad we're in agreement for once. Now let's see if this keeps up onto the next slide. Which 7DS is better? 7DS in the regular split, aka Big Buff Doja, or 7DS in playoffs, aka very sad. I think it's called Cheem. I'm not up to date with these. Top memes.
I'm not sure what the meme is called, but I'm a massive fan of it. And let's be honest, we agreed on the last this or that. I don't see how me and Ruben could possibly disagree here. The answer is so obvious. It doesn't even bear thinking about for people who haven't even seen 7DS's recent play. Yeah, it's 7DS in playoffs. I think if they're able to keep their team together after that, that's a bigger achievement than going 8-0 in regular season. And I'd really love it if they kept playing, because regardless of what team you are, regardless of what players are on that team, getting absolutely memed on and with the whole community watching like that and still sticking together, and I shout out to you, you even stayed on in trash talk and fired a few shots at NSK afterwards. Normally that would hurt, but I love your resilience. So it didn't work out for you in the game or the division. I want to see the mental of 7DS beat the actual game skills of their regular split.
Well, I'll also go to mention something. I do think one member of 7DS may have gone MIA. Your boy Spunners seems to have lost his tag from the 7 Deadly Sins, so possibly not completely staying together. Yeah, 7DS in playoffs. I gotta give it to them. You know, they did not too bad until, you know, Big Smurf Hodgie came into the jungle and he just whipped out his Amumu. The thing is, I don't think 7DS were necessarily I don't think it was just that they played bad. I think it was the mental damage. Say you go into game and you're like, okay, this is a serious game, guys, but there's so much stress. We have to win just one more game. You see Hodge come up in the jungle. You underestimate him for one game. You're like, oh, we'll let Shadow Hopper play his 3 CS a minute Zoe. Maybe that'll work. Nope, get slammed. And then you're like, shit, we lost to Hodge in jungle. What do we do, guys? Laval's, you know, having problems. You got to bring in Spunners. Spunners doesn't want to play anyway. The mental just goes boom, and you're against Hodge again, and he's still stealing every objective. The mental damage done not only by that but also by the bans is what I would say is like a Cyrez D victory. You fake the enemy out, you do something so stupid that it works.
And they say if it's stupid and it works, it isn't stupid. Like, yeah, 7DS had forgotten how to lose. Like,
Yeah.
they hadn't this season. They were winning so much, they literally got the name 7 Deadly Sins and were like, we're going to continue the dynasty. To have that combined with the missing Bower, combined with the expectations, combined with the trading roles, combined with the drunk Pike they were playing against, combined with Hodge going into the jungle and psyching them, like, I can't imagine, like, I don't see any other series in VL ever being better than that one. The fact that I'm talking about it now and it'll probably still overshadow the games that are being played today as you watch it live. It just was the perfect ingredient, and I'd recommend, if you haven't seen them yet or you weren't there during the night, Blaze posted a few clips which were just shadow plays of the VL call during 2 of the biggest Inca team fight wombo combos in Game 5, and there were so many people shouting for Inca that the whole VL call just turned into static. Or maybe that's just Brandon's $2 computer. So yeah, 7DS, they had a lot of mental obstacles, and as I know from F1, as soon as Hodge appears on your radar, you're done.
Actually, just as the conspiracy theorists that are watching the stream right now may want to know, this could be Ice's ultimate way to stop Bower from... Why is Ice still allowed to play in Division 4? Because now Bower's team's won Div 4 again, so Bower should really be playing in Div 3, whereas Ice, he lost in finals, so he's got to keep playing in Div 4. This is the smartest play 7DS have ever made. They're going for the long con. They're not going for this split win. They're going for the next one. Yeah, we didn't win every game as 7DS, so we need to do it next split.
It's like the joke about players saving their flashes or their summoners for next game. The whole of 7DS are actually saving their lineup for next split, which is beautiful mind games when you think about it.
Exactly. So I'm glad we're both in agreement that the sad team 7DS in playoffs is the correct play here. Cannot believe they swapped up the images like these.
Incontrovertible. Like, I don't see how anyone can disagree with that.
Moving on, we've got what should BRAMSH do? Make memes and complain, or play as ranked games?
I've now immediately got to look for memes by BRAMSH.
They were godly. I'll be honest, BRAMSH, I didn't think BRAMSH could do this, but I'm very proud that he was able to make such high quality pieces in such a short amount of time. Whereas playing your ranked games, who wants to do that? Making memes, quite fun. I also don't think BRAMSH complained, just to add on to that. I think BRAMSH didn't say anything. I think it was Pyro, Tom, and Kiz that were vocal about it.
Yeah, BRAMSH being the most chill player of all. Like, let's be honest, you can't have too many things on your mind when you're just on your way to mid lane 2 weeks away. I really need to see BRAMSH memes now, and I'm going to regret that I hadn't seen them in advance of filming this. I'm going to zoom in on I'm going to take a Ruben optical lens strat and take a look at the VL Wars Revenge of the Silverback, and I'm hoping that is a BRAMSH meme, and it bears all the resemblance of a brilliantly crafted play. Yeah, it's got aggression, it's got... I'm trying to sync up making a meme to playing support, and the comparison isn't there. That's a good meme, is what I'm going to say there.
I think someone pointed out that it's meant to be episode 3 instead of 2 or something.
Yeah, in fact, I may have done that. This is how boomer I get. I don't even remember 3 days ago. So I'm now going to do the 700 IQ Omega trick of searching up episode 3 and seeing if it redirects me to a meme. And alas, I'm foiled because I'm searching in the NSK server. So Ruben, quickly fill some time for me.
So well, we'll see today, really, won't we? Whether it's Horizon Shadow versus Plague in the finals or CNT versus Plague in the finals. And realistically, if it were up to me, I would not want BRAMSH to complete his ranked games, so that it was definitely a free game in the finals for Plague. So I would much prefer if he made memes, because one, they're quite high quality, and two, it would mean that it's guaranteed that we don't have to play against Mr. BRAMSH in the finals, which would be muy bueno, as the Spaniards would say.
There we go. Excelente and muy bueno. Like, no habla español, but that's some incredible linguistic.
For that.
Damn, son. 2.5 years per
one
meme.
episode of Dora the Explorer.
Nice. Oh yeah, and there we go. We've finally caught up with Boomer satellite television, and I can see that one. I can also see the sweating 2 buttons meme, which is actually that's this slide. BRAMSH made the sweating buttons meme and made this slide.
Yeah.
It was the buttons, start making memes or start playing ranked. So whoever made this slide, I'm going to call you out on camera now. You've just taken BRAMSH's meme and you've actually flamed him while taking credit for his meme. That's the lowest of the low. Like Asco, I think he wasn't doing it this episode. Last, Joycey himself, whoever it was, stand up and I want you to apologize in announcements or contact the nearest admin and ask them to do it for you, because plagiarism is bad. I'm just going to say that one there. Yeah, he should have played ranked games, but I can't complain about his memes, and I certainly can't complain about NSK beating Centurion.
Exactly. Right, moving on to the next one. Swiftly we go. Stream announcement things are for F1. I don't know what this other word is after the and there, but F1 or muting and complaining. Yeah,
that was a brilliant flashpoint in the week, because as the League community, or several members of the League community, like Borodemon and Arbush pointed out, this is a League of Legends server where we're getting pinged for F1 announcements. And then as F1 players like Blaze pointed out, F1 streams 3 times a week and League streams twice a week. And what essentially could have been a really good argument, it really couldn't have been, because it's about someone getting pinged and getting a red circle on Discord that you can click and then ignore 2 seconds later, regardless of its subject matter. We were actually getting, I'm not going to make the comparison that I was going to make 5 seconds ago, but we were getting comparisons to complete separation between servers, and each community was saying, yeah, well, you go have your server, we'll have our pings live, which was stupid, not only because it's a community, but also because you're using the same Twitch anyway, so you'd get pinged in both servers for both activities. So I love the feedback argument, and I was just memeing alongside it. Stream announcement pings, for the record, are for League, are for F1, are for Valorant, are for Stellaris, or for whatever anyone wants to play and get to the point where they've got a stream about it. If anyone wants to play elitism with, my puzzle bubble is greater than your Candy Crush, fuck off. There we go, I said it.
Alright, well, I'll say if someone starts streaming Neko Para on the official Valorant League Twitch, I'm going to complain about it in feedback. A complaint I have about this slide is I remember this feedback right here, and this is about the BO3. And you know how I know? Is because I see that message right that says, "You're right, Ray-Bans." I know the only time Kiz would agree with me is when it's about BO3s.
For the record, by the way, do you appreciate Ray-Bans, or would you wish it never appeared ever again?
I hated it at first, because I was like, nobody's ever called me this. But the more I hear a kid say it, the more it catches on. I'm like, I quite like this now. So I'm alright with the nickname.
Now, I don't know where it comes from, but I've noticed that your Discord name is Shade, and Ray-Bans are a type of shade, so maybe there's some conspiracy theory in there.
Very possibly. Don't think it was quite what I had in mind when I changed my name to that, but yeah.
No, I guess it was actually a 700 IQ move matched only by Kiz. You're the true intelligent masters of the league when it comes to nicknames.
Yeah, we were meant to be, as it were. Moving back onto the question. I don't know. Yeah, well, I don't know what it means by stream announcement pings are for muting and complaining, because that doesn't make too much sense for me. But what I will say is in the Discord settings, which you can find by right-clicking the server and pressing notification settings, you can disable at everyone and at here pings if you need to. So if it's really a bother to you, you know when the league streams are, so you can still click on announcements when it hits 7 p.m. If you need to click on that, if you can't navigate the Twitch by yourself. And if you don't want to see either of the streams, you can just mute the channel entirely, as well as having to mute everyone. But on the other hand, I do love seeing people get mad. Even if I'm one of those people, I'll look back on it and think, wow, I'm a numpty. So,
what a real original rager there.
So I'll be honest, I'll say both of these. I don't mind being pinged, and I like seeing other people get mad about very small things.
We take those.
Yeah. All right. On to the next one. We go. What is better, banning correctly or spelling out me?
Nice. Yeah, I love that. For anyone who doesn't understand the reference, we're back to 7DS Inca, which happened on Monday, and Inca were down 2-0. They had to put everything on the line. Everything, as it turned out, included spelling out Keck W in Game 3. Yep, that's on the screen right now. Simp in Game 4 and Donk in Game 5. So it contributed to, as you put it earlier, the serious way of winning. Banning correctly, well, I think it was Deja Vu Academy that couldn't pick correctly, so maybe the advice isn't the same there, but I think it depends on how high stakes the matches are. I really like that Inca left it until literally the most important games of the season to pop in the Keck W, and there's something I can really appreciate about that.
Yeah, I'll say, just as a note, the donk was apparently not intentional, but it was one of the players. I can't remember who the top player is. Was it Sam? I think it was Sam Vet.
Yeah, Sam Vet.
Yeah, who didn't know that the ban for Darius would be at the start. He thought it was going to end in the D, so I'm not sure what they were actually wanting to spell. So donk may have been a incorrect play, but
Did you just intend that pun, by the way?
What?
Incorrect.
Oh no. Right, well, thank you for making me seem a bit funny. I don't mind that.
There we go.
I will say, out of these two options, just based on the only Div 4 games I watched, which were all games of the finals, spelling out memes has a higher win rate than banning correctly. So,
in fact, 100% of the games 7DS have lost this split have been to teams that have spelled memes in bans.
So there you go. It's just a bit of psychological warfare is all it takes.
There we go.
Advice to any future Div 4 teams out there. Make sure you watch, I believe this is episode 7 of This or That.
Yeah, especially for Ice, who it seems be in Division 4 forever with an amazing grand plan.
Exactly. Alright, moving along, we have got...
There it is.
The better version, Trolluwu or Trollono?
I mean, like
is that me? Oh my
is God. The fringe edited on in either case, or both,
yes,
or none?
Both.
I can see the extensions that have been well put on there. By the way, this is a brilliant callback to the Cruddy Daddy slide, and I'm a bit weirded out that there's someone out there dedicated to making like attractive versions of us for comparison.
I'm quite a fan, to be honest. If someone wants to do this, I'll pay them some more money to keep making images of this to put up on my new Instagram page, which hasn't been created, but.
But if you can make an Instagram page, you're not gonna call it Instagram/Trolluwu.
Exactly. Just because of this or that.
Like
I
those
personally
12 packs right there.
Yeah, I don't want to have an opinion on either of these. I'm actually quite disturbed looking at both of these pictures. Not as much as the Cruddy Daddy ones, to be honest. So.
Yeah, that's well, I've got two monitors, chances for a screensaver, so we don't have to choose here in my house. I think if we actually look at it, we can see that the one on the left, Trollowo, has a really sculpted body. Obviously, he's put time into pumping iron, dieting well, and importantly, is hydrated, not eaten, and so that he's got a maximum amount of rippling on his physique. And as a result, that's the worst one because he hasn't had a chance to practice his Z or Zoe mechanics in mid lane. And for that reason, Diamond 1 Cheery Bingo Wingman on the right, Trollono, is my champion by an absolute mile. And that's what you should think if you're all a decent person and not blinded by vanity.
Well, I think Trollowo's just been eating up that CS, eating up that honey fruit in the river. That's the kind of diet you need to get a physique like that. Whereas Trollono, that's when he gets starved for CS by his jungler. Not gonna name any names, but it is the plague jungler, whoever that may be.
Yeah, and we can only send out our detectives on a hit list for that one. Yeah, Luke and Lordio are going to be here. Oh no, those are some unrelated people. Are going to be on a slide soon wearing the big physiques next to Trollono, who just looks like he's using the shades as a mask for something.
Yeah, the shades are only there to hide the tears that are welling up in my eyes.
I like how Trollowo, by the way, I don't know how much editing is there, but it looks like he has a neck of the gods. So he can look down at all of the other divisions and mid laners and survey his lane kingdom from afar.
I'll be honest, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it may be that the original face was angled upwards, and now putting the face angled straight forwards has resulted in the neck looking abnormally long.
I can't tell whether that's a brilliant or horrible editing job, and I'll leave it to the viewer to decide. Okay, I think that's actually our last slide, so now's your last chance to get those images mentally seared up there. If you are watching this live on Thursday the 18th, then you're hopefully on a VL stream rather than bootlegging it. If you're on VL2, you'll be able to watch one of the last regular season games from Div 1, where the winner of Centurion versus Horizon Shadow will be facing Plague in a couple weeks' time in the finals. Whereas on VL1, we're seeing a final for Division 2. It's the undefeated OP Nerds versus Deja Vu in a best of 5. So wherever you're watching this, I hope for some good league action ahead, although it won't be as good as the two on your screen. Catch you later, gang.